When talking about building engagement and excitement through virtual experiences, the finest platform out there, Virtual Console, offers an unmatched solution. A do-it-for-you platform, Virtual Console offers an end-to-end tech solution that enables our clients to create personalized and custom events in just 48 hours. While the platform remains easy to use and navigate, assistance and support is available at every step to create a seamless experience. Not only is the platform scalable, varying participant sizes, it has proven to be cost-efficient. Let's explore the various features that Virtual Console has to offer. The attendees log in using an email ID or mobile number and enter the lobby area, which has event and partner branding, along with various speaker profiles and agenda for the event. Public and one-on-one chat functionalities, along with breakout rooms, enable attendee interaction. Attendees then proceed to the auditorium, where all the action lies. And the Expo Center offers partners their booths with networking and lead generation opportunities. Attendees can see glimpses of the event in the gallery. Virtual Console offers in-depth event analytics to ascertain and track the attendee touchpoints, time spent across various functions, and beyond. Let us have a look at something Virtual Console recently put together for one of our clients with over 3,000 attendees. A creative, captivating, customized, and cost-efficient solution by Virtual Console that meets the purpose and delivers beyond expectations. With the changing times and trends, it's time to bet big on virtual events and experiences. Trust us to be the virtual event solution specialist you need. Virtual Console, here to deliver. Book your demo with us at Virtual Console.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech APAC second edition 2021. Thanks for all the attendance to be here for this great panel that we have today. We have Carlos from Roiback, Marcelo Personal to Travel, Greg Carbonniere from Milestones, MarkVasse from Expedia Group, Tarun Goyal, CEO and founder of Simplotel, and the COO of Bookonlinenow, Theodoros, Katsimpras, my personal friend. Everybody here is a friend at the end. Okay, you're gonna see me just scoot off right now on the screen because we have all the sponsors. So I'm so sorry. You're gonna see only my face. I'm not so pretty, but it's part of the show. So welcome everyone. Today we will speak about cloud computing, how it impacts your customer stay experience, guest experience, direct and indirect sales. So be welcome. With us with Tech. Tech has been created the last year during the pandemic to bring knowledge and education with the best professionals in the world that pass through these panels. And we are a show online, totally independent, So, and we are the unique on the word that covered the entire world in three languages: English, Portuguese, and Spanish. So, be welcome, everyone. I will start right now to presenting you and giving the word for 3 minutes presentation for each of our participants. So, Mr. Tarun Goyal, CEO and founder of Simplotel, please, your 3 minutes to talk about yourself and your company. Please go ahead. Thank you so much. You're on mute. You're on mute, Tarun. Sorry.
Thank you for letting me know. Vinicius, thank you so much for having us here. I really appreciate it. An awesome event. I was participating yesterday, saw the kind of crowd that you had. And, in the pandemic, pulling off an event like this, we all need this. And thank you so much for doing this. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Travel Tech APAC second edition. My name is Tarun Goyal. I run this company called Simplotel. We started Simplotel about 7-8 years ago with a single purpose in life for hotels. We want to drive direct bookings for hotels. And my experience has been mostly working with e-commerce companies. I've spent a good number of years at Amazon as a product manager and at Expedia. And in Seattle, and then we moved back to India and worked at an e-commerce company called Myntra before we started Simplotel. And the whole idea of Simplotel is highly influenced by Shopify, which has been a company that I admire a lot. At Amazon, we had something called Web Store by Amazon, which is also very interesting. And I saw the kind of technology that the e-commerce companies and the travel tech companies had. And I felt that for hotels could use something similar to drive direct, right? And that was the whole idea behind Simplotel. We've been at it about 6-7 years. The first couple of years was all about building the technology. Today, we are in about 21 countries with about 2,000 hotels and building tech with a single purpose to help them grow direct business through their to hotels. So that's what we do for a living. It's very excited to be here and learn from everybody else.
Thank you so much, Tarun, to be here. It's a pleasure to have you here on this great panel today. Let's go to the second person here right now. That will be Roiback. So, Mr. Carlos Pereira from Roiback, please, you have 3 minutes to present yourself and present Roiback. Welcome.
Thank you, Vinicius. Thank you for organizing this event. As Tarun was mentioning, in these times where it's very hard to reach out to market, it's a great opportunity. So a bit of background of myself, quick background. I'm more on the distribution side. That's my. I've worked in Europe, in Middle East, and in APAC. And on the hotel distribution, so many contracting, market management, like Mark is doing for Expedia. And I joined Roiback over 3 years ago now, and moved on to the direct channel distribution, which I found very exciting and I'm really enjoying. And lucky enough, I joined at the right moment when the direct business is upcoming and growing. So Roiback, what the background of Roiback? Roiback was built in Spain, started in Spain, and what we deliver is any tech and service related to direct channel purely. So that goes every point of the online booking journey that the customer can go through, and that's what we try to tap into. That's pretty much it. Thank you, Vinicius.
Thank you so much, Carlos, to be here. Thank you for Roiback, also one of the sponsors. We have a few sponsors here today with us. So thank you, all of you. Let's go with Mr. Theodoros Katsimpras, COO of Bookonlinenow. It's very early for you, Theodoros, but it's part of the show. It's 10 a.m. in Hong Kong, and for you, I assume it's 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's okay.
No problem for that. Really. So good morning to all. I'm really happy, Vinicius, being once again part of Travel Tech. It's a very good job you've done so far, and I'm sure that you will continue this way. So my name is Theodoros Katsimpras. I'm the CEO of Bookonlinenow. Bookonlinenow is a booking engine, in fact. So we're talking about direct sales Founded in 2009, we've expanded in 74 countries at this point, and we have a portfolio of 3,000 hotels. So regarding me, I'm a hotelier freak, in fact. All those years I'm working over 25, although I'm young, I'm working 25 years right now in tourism. I even don't believe it that I'm so many years in tourism. So it's a crazy industry. However, although I started with F&B, I continued right now with revenue management and of course direct sales for hotels. And what we achieved from Bookonlinenow now, when with the whole team and with you also, Vinicius, in the area that you're located, is to achieving growth, increase of revenue and brand awareness through our tools we are offering through Bookonlinenow. So that's much of myself and the company.
Thank you so much, Theodoros, to be here. It's always a pleasure have you with myself here. So welcome again. Let's go to our next special guest. That is MarkVasse, Director Market Management, Thailand and Vietnam for Expedia. Mark, please introduce yourself and Expedia. But Expedia, I know most everybody knows who Expedia is, so but it's okay. You need to introduce you.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well, that's it. Everybody knows, but yeah, good morning, Sawadee Krap. From Bangkok. I'm based here, like Carlos, in Bangkok. My name is MarkVasse. I work as a director for market management in Expedia Group for Thailand and Vietnam. And as Theodoros was saying, he was saying, yeah, 25 years in the hospitality industry. I'm 3 years in the hospitality industry as a professional, and probably a little over 40 years in the hospitality industry as a consumer. So it's only in the last 3 years that I discovered this really great industry out here. I've been living and working in Asia for nearly 20 years, various countries, various industries, and in the last 3 years in Vietnam, and now in Thailand. I think the main thing that really what I love about this particular industry is when you see the speed of change that has happened with internet and the cloud, and how this would impact not only yourself as an employee, or if you have your own company, but also as a consumer, how it impacted. And when I joined Expedia, I saw that opportunity and that potential of combining, let's say, the genuine hospitality services of what it means to give a great experience to a customer, like turn down service, a little note on the bed, that's what you want to achieve at a guest. That's our ultimate outcome or goal, what we all work for. And if you combine that with very smart technology and tools, you've got endless possibilities, to bring that service and that experience for a customer to the next level. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark, to be here. Thank you, Expedia, to be one of our sponsors. Also, we're very happy to have you here. And right now, let's go with Marcelo. Marcelo is the founder and CEO of Personal to Travel, a DMS, Destination Management System, one of the most incredible systems on destination management system that I met. I saw a lot of them. But I will let Marcelo introduce himself and talk about his own company. I don't do any spoiler here. Sorry. Marcelo, it's up to you, man.
Thank you, Vinicius. First, I'm very glad to be part of such a smart and very influential group of professionals from the travel industry. As you told me, I'm from Personal to Travel, and in Personal to Travel, we love the travel industry, and we love the trend to humanize the relationship inside of the travel industry. We are born to revolutionize the way the travel industry interacts and sell, creating a personalized omnichannel travel journey for travelers. We help travel destinations to receive tourists with a greater degree of health security. We also provide a better experience and also a better travel journey for tourists. We empower the SMS through our hyper-personalization solutions that are also a powerful information tool for smart destinations. We also help travel companies to know travelers better, interacting with them in a personalized way and selling more and better. We are building a personalized platform that covers all the travel cycles and travel touch points, like in marketing, sales, and all kind of interactions that the travel industry organizations can have with the travelers. It will be the travel personalization and solution platform that cover the entire travel cycle. Personally, like Mark, I'm an outsider from the travel industry. I'm inside the travel industry for around 5 years. I start working with innovation, but above all, I'm a traveler. And I have as one of the most important goals of my personal life has more countries traveled than years lived. So I'm passionate about travel, and I want to do the best that I can do to make our industry even better.
Thank you so much, Marcelo, for your introduction. Be welcome here. Every time that you want to be here, I will be glad to have you here also. And let's go right now with Greg Carbonniere Jr., Senior Director of Sales Digital Marketing for Milestone, however, also member and chairman of HSMI. And if I'm wrong, please, you correct myself, is in the top 25 as the best marketing person in the world right now. So thank you so much to be here, Greg. And you have your 3 minutes to present yourself and your company. Thank you.
Thanks, Vinicius. Yeah, it's my honor. So a little bit about myself and Milestone Incorporated. So as Vinicius alluded to, we focus on digital marketing for hotels, right? We're driving demand as well as capturing that demand in a very competitive market that we're in, right? As we've learned with the pandemic, with less demand comes greater competition. So what we're really focused on doing is amplifying their website content to reach the right audience and drive ROI in the process. So getting into specifics on the services side of our agency, we provide website design, content writing, SEO. On the software side of our agency, we provide content management systems, schema markup so that your content can be found, local listings management, and so forth. We've found that, in this digital transformation, right, there are two things to think about from a distribution standpoint. Is obviously converting at a far higher rate than we were before. But then the precursor to that is how are we discovered by more guests so that we have that opportunity to convert through other tools and strategies. So anyways, it's an honor to be here today. I look forward to this discussion. Thanks, Vinicius.
Thank you so much, Greg. Just to remind to the public, we will start right now with the question size, where each person here will provide you tip and hints and a lot of knowledge. So, Profit, we are the unique event online, 100% independent and online, that you can interact with those monsters that we have here. Monsters in a good way, huh? Please, nobody be offended. Monsters in the knowledge. So if you have questions, please write down. We are transmitting right now through YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So you can write from LinkedIn, you can write from YouTube, you can write from Facebook your questions. I will receive it when we finish all the discussion area or the questions that I'm going to have. I will do the questions for those guys. So don't lose the chance, because normally you cannot call Greg, Theodoros, Tarun, Mark, Carlos, and Marcelo and say, hey, I have a question here. Can you help me solve an issue? So Profit, this is unique. So please profit about it. Thank you, first of all, for all the sponsors that make Travel Tech possible. As I said, we are at 100% independent. We don't have any support from any press. The only support that we have is for the companies and the sponsors that come here to speak about it, and is a total free environment. So be welcome. And thank you for all the attendants to be here. And thank you all again. Thank you all again. It's going to be an outstanding again. That's the good thing about Travel Tech. Every time we do something here, it's like huge. Sometimes we don't know, myself and my entire team, we don't know how we did it but we know how we did it. But sometimes like, whoa, the discussions that we have here is incredible. Yesterday, we have 2 panels of revenue management strategies in destination China. For example, we saw from China, that's a very close market at the end for us, Occidentals, and even for APAC, things they're doing. So today, we're going to learn more with this Monsters on Knowledge. Thank you, everyone. And let's go to the first question. The first question goes to Tarun Goyal, founder and CEO of Simplotel. So let's go. The first question, Tarun, hospitality is about guest experience, and personalization creates an impact with various online touch points for a guest. How can a hotel leverage personalization to enhance the guest experience? I will repeat the question. With various online touch points for a guest, how can a hotel leverage personalization to enhance the guest experience? Please, you have 5 to 7 minutes to answer. All yours.
Thank you so much, Vinicius. There is this saying out there that says, past, present, and personalization, which means, personalization is the future, especially for travelers. I have a different opinion, actually. I think it is past, personalization, and personalization, which means it is about hospitality. Vinicius, as you mentioned, is all about creating a guest experience. And a lot of experience comes from doing the things that the customer wants, right? So it's actually quite simple. Personalization can be blown out of proportion, but if you look at it and if you just take a step back, our front desk does that all the time. When a repeat loyal guest shows up at a hotel lobby, we say, "Hello, Vinicius, how are you?" Right? And that creates that kind of an experience for you, Vinicius, right? Because you feel wanted, you feel loved in there. When you walk into the hotel room, if the room is arranged the way you want it to be, right? I mean, that is personalization, and it not only creates that wow experience for the guest, but it's also an opportunity to save costs, etc. Because you're emphasizing things that the guest wants, but also de-emphasizing things that the guest may not want. Right? Now, if you look at personalization, I think the bigger guys like Amazon's, the Bookings, the Expedias have been doing it for some time. And for example, if you go to a booking.com and search for a hotel in Hong Kong, and if you don't end up booking it, at some point, you'll start getting offers about Hong Kong. When you come back to the website, it revamps the website to show you Hong Kong. It'll allow you to begin your search where you left off. When you go to the booking engine, it'll sort of prioritize Hong Kong, right? So there is, at the very simplest form, personalization can be something as simple as showing the name on the website. But in a more deeper form, it is about increasing the relevance of whether we like it or not. Online world is full of clutter. Guests do look at about 30, 40 websites before they make a booking. And in this whole journey, we keep pretending like we've never met them again, right? So even when a repeat guest shows up to your website, although the person has stayed with you 3 times, we treat them like complete strangers, right? So that's a problem that we set out to solve at Simplotel. What we do is we've merged the websites, booking engines together. We don't believe, when you go to an Amazon, you don't know where a website ends when a booking engine starts. I think it's essentially when you go to a Shopify, when you go to a Expedia, you can't really tell. There's no difference between, a guest does not feel that I'm going to a website and now I'm going to a booking engine, right? But somehow that's how the tech has evolved, but we're trying to change that. We're trying to break down the Chinese wall between the website and booking engine. And what we do is we keep track of everything that the guest is doing on the website, on the booking engine, and based on that, we start personalizing it automatically for you. So when you come back, we say, "Hello, Vinicius, it's been a while since we saw you. Oh, we missed you." If you already have a reservation with us, we try to sell you upsells instead of trying to sell you another room, right? If you have shopped in the past and not booked, we show you special offers, maybe secret deals. We change the website, we change the messaging, the booking engine, everything, right? So essentially, we have a set of 3-4 different products. We've got a website builder, a booking engine. We think of them as one. Now imagine we all get offers and advertisements, and it's not that consumers don't like offers and advertisements. It's annoying when they're not relevant to you, right? We send, I just got an offer for a spa package. I never take spas at a hotel, right? But I love upgrades, right? And I've stayed at this hotel for such a long time. They know that. Imagine if there was technology that based on my browsing behavior on the website, like if I saw you go to the suites page, I sent you an offer for an upgrade, versus if I know in the past you've chosen to upgrade, I'll send you an upgrade offer. But for somebody who's interested in dining and has gone to the dining page, so essentially, we're trying to connect the dots of all of these different pieces, and it's more affordable than hotels would think, right? So the website, the booking engine, the email marketing, all of these, instead of it being in silos, right, now talk to each other and with automation, so that you're not sitting back there and personalizing it. Like just take a very simple example. Let's say I knew your birthday, which a lot of hotels do with their loyalty cards, etc. If I send you a mailer on your birthday wishing you a happy birthday, and if you come to the website, I say, happy birthday, Vinicius, it's great to see you. Our best wishes are with you. And when you go to the booking engine, I say, 5% off for you, or book with us, stay with us in your birthday month, and there's a free cake for you, or and 5% off just because, we really want to wish you in person, right? Those kind of things are a lot easier to do these days with cloud computing and technology. And that's the mission we are on with our customers, hotels, helping them create that sort of experience so that every person who's visiting their website gets treated as one. Every mailer that they send out does not go to spam because they're so relevant. Every person that visits the booking engine ends up converting, right? And, Mark, we learn a lot from Expedia. We learn a lot from Booking.com, just because I think that is the present and that is the future of, how you do marketing. So essentially, we're trying to bring these disjointed pieces of marketing of hotel, the website, the booking engine, the email marketing, and trying to sort of, airlines get it also, right? I mean, they will do a lot of things. They know they will send you upgrade offers. They will send you meal plans. Hotels starting to do it, but we want to accelerate that trend because that's the future for us.
Thank you so much, Tarun. I just said some points that you just spoke about it. First one was Booking.com. It's not the time. Maybe if you have the time to discussion, I just saw what Booking.com start to do, and charging directly and giving discounts and broke all the parity. So I don't want to speak about Booking at the end because it's going to be a nightmare right now. Second point, the upselling, I think, is one of the major steps that normally hotels, we need to understand that normally we have like 500,000 hotels between 3 and 5 stars all over the world. However, places to be and go, we have more than 1,200,000 in 1 star, 2 stars, small hotels, or even near B. And the upselling, it's very important. But one thing that sometimes hotels, in my opinion, needs to think about upselling is not only about the experience on the hotel. They need to understand the environment they have and the region they are. Try to make some kind of, let's say, partnerships. For example, I don't know, I'm in Thailand, I have a pirate boat, and I want to upsell that or sell a package. That's one thing to hyper-personalization. And okay, that's all from my side. If somebody else wants to put something here, go ahead. Because right now we have a very good panel. We have 3 companies that is focused on direct sales. We have a marketing one of the best of the awards. We have one for a DMS, and we have Expedia here. So it's going to be awesome. So somebody, please, anybody wants to add something here, go ahead, please. Nobody?
I would just agree with Tarun. I think you're spot on, right? The guest experience and how personal that may be throughout the customer journey, I think it's going to lead to a lot of shifts in the industry and work towards the goals of that particular hotel. That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, and I think I agree with you, Craig. I think the other thing that we truly believe in is that running a hotel is probably one of the hardest things that one does in life. I don't think I could ever do it. I mean, I've been associated with travel, but imagine if we're somebody running a hotel. You got to take care of housekeeping. You got to take care of the maintenance. You got to take care of like reviews you got to take care of, like, and your chef doesn't show up one day. I think the key here is tech and tools that can do these kind of things automatically, because one of the things that we realized early on in our journey at Simplotel is that if it requires a lot of manual intervention all the time, right? It needs to be a self-learning system where rules can be configured and it just operates, right? Versus somebody finding time every day in the middle of the night shift, in the middle of a broken water heater. I mean, those are real everyday challenges that impact the guest experience, and the hotels need to focus on that, because that's the moment of truth. If I'm at a hotel and I don't get hot water shower, I think the entire experience is out, right? So we do believe that a lot of these things need to happen, and they need to happen in a fairly automated manner, where the hotel can maybe spend an hour, 2 hours a month, and then look at metrics and then decide the course of action, tweak it, and go. Because when you go to a booking.com and you search for Hong Kong and you don't book, right? There's not somebody at the back of booking.com putting that banner for you. The tech does it for you, right? And that's how it's seamless it's supposed to work. And you see whether certain things work, not work, make changes, and continue. So at least that's been our philosophy, because I truly believe that running a hotel, kudos to all the hoteliers who are part of the audience. What you guys do is phenomenal. I don't think building tech is a lot simpler than running a hotel in my mind.
Theodoros,
the beauty on it is also the difference on the ages. The personalization depends. So we're talking about millennials. We are talking about Generation X. So generally speaking, everything is different for each person, different countries, different destinations, different incoming countries to the destination. So even the satisfaction is subjective, and it's different for each client that comes at the hotel. So this is the beauty behind hotels and tourism in general.
Correct. And the other thing that we can set it up here sometimes, hoteliers is not adapting themselves. We need to understand that almost 90% of the hotels in the world are familiar, or it's some person that is a construction person and build a hotel. And that's another point. And when normally, one of the things that we create travel tech, because I'm in the business for 17 years already. And when you go to offer some solution for them, normally, come on, no, you want to sell me something. This will help me. No, wait, this will help you. You're gonna make more money. You're gonna make a better experience. You're gonna fidelize your client. No, but it's expensive. Expensive is really relative, and technology is not expensive. It's more expensive if you don't sell. If you don't know what your guests want, that is very expensive at the end, not the other things. And the last thing that I want to say here is strategical is revenue management at the end and marketing. But we saw for the last 15 years, revenue management is a person that only makes your hotel make more money, and that's wrong. At the moment, if you're a revenue manager, you need to know a lot of marketing. You need to understand who buys you from Facebook, who buys you from Instagram, who buys you for your email marketing. You need to understand who's that guy that coming back a lot of times and you never give him an upgrade. And all those informations you have in your PMS, for example. Just take your time. It's not so complicated. Maybe in my mind, because I'm focused on this, but normally it's not so complicated. We already have a question here for Terence Rossen. Terence, don't worry. At the end, we're gonna set this way. I'm gonna set your question here, so don't worry about it. Anybody else want to say something about it? Marcelo? Nobody? Mark?
Yes, I just want to say something. One thing that's like what Tarun started to say. If you can put everything just one sentence, we will be like, what is the key for the success is make your customers, or in our case, our travelers, feel special. If you can do that, you can conquer their minds and their hearts. And until a few years ago, there is like a fight between technology and human touch. But nowadays, they are together. They are working together to provide the best experience for the travelers. And I think that it's the best time to be in the travel industry.
Mark?
Yeah, technology should help, right? Technology is not the leading factor. I mean, you should always keep in mind, like, hey, what's the outcome that you want to have? What is the purpose of You look at your phone, you can have 1,000 apps. You use the ones that really add value to yourself, and I think also in a hotel. And from this discussion, the interesting part is as well is like I think we're all on the same outcome. We're trying to connect dots for a hotelier to have a great experience. And the thing that I like sometimes is just to take a step back. And I think many of us will know him, but Greg for sure, if he's truly the number 5 in the world or the number
top
1,
25,
I don't know, right?
Top 25 in the world.
But I know it from my days. Philip Kotler, right? Philip Kotler, marketing guru, is that's in the time when we still had books. When I went to university, there was no online. But if you look at that, it's not that difficult. It's like, if you don't know who your customer is, how can you use all this technology? How can you add value? And that stuff, it's very interesting to use all these tools. But if you don't take a step back and really think like, hey, what do I want to mean for my customer? How do I stand out as a hotel? Will I be pet friendly? Will I be kid friendly? Will I be adults, sustainable? All these elements you gotta think about nowadays, and it is possible with all the data that is out there. The point is to avoid data paralysis. That's why we're all here as well, to help out. It's like, okay, so how can you translate all those data points into meaningful insights?
Correctly. Thank you so much, Mark. I'm going to pass through the next question is for Mr. Carlos Pereira from Roiback. So let's go with his question. He's a regional head, APAC and Middle East for Roiback. So Carlos, how does cloud computing help hotels improve their direct sales? I'm going to repeat the question. How does cloud computing help hotels improve their direct sales? All yours, man.
Thank you, Vinny. So when it comes to direct business, maybe I'll start going back for Roiback in specific. So I didn't mention at the beginning, but our main business is the booking engine, website development, and digital marketing. And in all those spaces, cloud computing is key. I mean, it's extremely important. I would say it's like air, right? Where it's omnipresent, but if you lack, if you struggle to have it, you're basically screwed, right? So to put a bit of context, maybe I'll try to put some examples how important it is for us in all our products and services. Well, first of all, we need to minimize the risk of outage, something so basic as like that. So that's how cloud computing can support us. How does it support? It allows us to have a lot of flexibility. So we have hotels across the world, and we have consumers from across the world, and we need to connect those guys together in different geographies and different timings. And in our industry, we do have a lot of peaks of demand. So to give an example, we have a big chain wants to do a massive campaign, and it's a chain that really has influence. So they start doing marketing in social media, email marketing, etc. at a specific point, and they drive a lot of traffic. We need to increase that capability for that unique point of time. Or, for example, Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Those are points of time where maybe in 24 hours we receive a lot of demand, and cloud computing allows us to have that flexibility and to increase our capabilities at those specific points of time. Also, it allows us to help us in having proximity with the customers, something that might not seem relevant for most of hotels. It's extremely important, right? Our main servers are based in Spain, in Madrid, but I'm based here in Bangkok. So my hotels in Phuket, they get demand from everywhere. They get demand from the US, they get demand from Australia, from Asia, from Middle East, Europe, everywhere, right? So it's really important to deliver the content to those customers, even if the hotel is far away. And with cloud computing, what that allows us is to have data centers across the world to meet the consumer's request. Okay. When I started 3 years ago, we had a problem in Bali. So we're using CDN, so content delivery networks of Amazon, and Amazon seemed to have a glitch in Indonesian market, and suddenly, our customers, our hotel customers in Bali mainly, were complaining, hey, the speed of our websites or the speed of our booking engine requests are really, really slow. And when our head office was looking at it, he said, wow, there's no issue here. What are you talking about? Even I was doing the searches from here, from Bangkok, and I wasn't finding any issues. And basically what happened is that glitch from Amazon was getting all the requests from Indonesia sent over to Madrid and back again, right? So people who were actually doing the search in Bali for Bali hotels were having to do the search all over to across halfway from the globe to get that information retrieved. Another great example is mobile, right? With mobile, we're all over the place. So we've developed a Mobilis Pro solution using AMP technology, accelerated mobile pages. And one of the key points of that product, apart from the user experience and the web app, etc., is the speed of delivery. On mobile, we all now, as users, we're very impatient. When it comes to mobile, we're even more impatient. And generally with mobile, our connectivity is worse than when we are on desktop or tablets where we're at home, etc. So we need to ensure that if that connectivity, if they're connecting through 3G or the connectivity is poor, we need to cover that by having that proximity. And that AMP technology, basically what allows us is to load all the information on Google's or the search engine's servers to deliver that in a fast manner. And the next part would be connectivities. So connectivities is also very key. There's two parts. There's the external connectivities, but also the in-house connectivities. When it comes to external, I think the best example is MetaSearch. So MetaSearch, as my colleagues here that represent direct channel, has become a very important, even Expedia probably values MetaSearch business, right? But now with Google Hotel Ads or TripAdvisor is doing a lot of efforts nowadays as well to attract the customers, and they offer that MetaSearch solution. The challenge with MetaSearch is that they have a lot of requests into our systems, right? And it's constant request. And so we kind of have two separate clouds. One would be more for that delivering rates and availability, and the other one would be for actually the actual transaction. We want to protect that transaction, okay? At the same time, we want to deliver the right rates and the updated rates and availability to the MetaSearch. So that would be a good example from an external perspective. From an internal perspective, I think Tarun touched the point, and yesterday in one of the sessions, the revenue management session, the importance of having systems talking to each other is really key, right? So for us, with our loyalty program, we need to connect very closely with, for example, our CRM. There could be external CRM to ensure that the customers, not only the CRM is up to date and can give all the information for the marketing team, the hotel's marketing team to take the relevant actions, but also in the front end to be able to, like if we have tiers on your loyalty program and there's an interaction, you need to make sure that you're interacting in the right way with your customers. Also with the pre-stay, post-stay emailing, etc. Right? You need to be Tarun was mentioning about the personalization. So that connectivity with the other systems is key for that personalization. And last but not least is the digital marketing. So we have our digital marketing agency is based on performance marketing and just specialized in hotels. And cloud-based is key because, I mean, Craig will probably back me up on this, but the amount of data that is required for digital marketing and a lot of the amount of automation that is behind all that, without cloud computing nowadays, it would be really, really challenging. Something basic like tracking, your Google Analytics, all that kind of stuff. What would be your life, Craig, without these kind of things, right? So yeah, that's more or less touching all the main points of why cloud computing is relevant for direct sales. As I say, I think there's a bit of omnipresence there where hotels and even customers don't even realize the impact it has on the back end.
One thing that you just said is very important, that a lot of hotels maybe don't have even a tag manager or don't even take a look on their analyticals. So if you have your own website, you need to track everything, but not only in the website. You need to track where the traffic coming from. So if you have a booking engine, what you need is that a booking engine that can support all those scripts and EI information that the tag manager provides you. And sometimes people only think on Google Ads. No, we still have Yahoo and we still have Bing. Okay, they have 25% of the market. And in Asia, they have other ones that I don't remember right now, but you can elucidate myself. But they need to understand that, for example, Bing is an structure that normally comes in all computers that you buy. So if you use ads for Bing, maybe you go to a public that have more than 50, 60 years. Well, 50, no, right now, because I'm very close to the 50, so I cannot tell this. But maybe for the 60, 70 years old, maybe if you do an ads on Bing, will be better than Google. So you need to understand clearly your strategy and also use all the tools. And don't think only about Google, but the most important thing, you need to understand where your traffic is coming from to create strategies for that. That's the only thing I need to say. Please go ahead. Just open your microphones and go ahead, please.
So I think great points, Carlos. Sort of agree with everything that you said. I think one thing that stood out in my mind is, I think to drive bookings and conversions, etc., to the website and booking engine takes a lot of, we call it death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? You got to get a lot of things right, the messaging right, the content right, the pricing right, everything right, the connectivity right, the load time right. I think we believe there's only one silver bullet in this whole equation, which you spoke about, Carlos, which is the load time, right? And just like you, at Simplotel, we focus a lot on getting that right. Every 100 milliseconds that you can take out from the systems is a wow customer experience. So that point just resonated. Kudos to you. I think this technology is out there with cloud computing, and we invest disproportionately. Like, you can have the best video shot for your hotel that tells the whole story, but if it doesn't load on your customer's mobile phone, then it's like having the best thing out there that nobody can see, right? So just wanted to sort of agree with what you're doing out there, Carlos. We believe in that as well.
Yeah,
the loading. Go ahead. I just took my camera off because I'm getting old, and I put some cream on my face. It's like the light is coming out and like shining too much, and you are the guys here, so I don't need to be the focus. So please, Greg, go ahead. Sorry.
You're looking good.
Really have the light here, and I see my head here, the front of my head like shining like a sun. I said, no, come on, Benny. You're getting old. Come on, Greg. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, Carlos. I think you were gonna respond to Tarun.
Okay, great. So we go to the next question. That is for Theodoros. It's not a simple question.
Oh, sorry,
yes,
just to respond to Tarun. So yeah, the loading time is critical. I mean, for us as booking engine website providers is critical. We need to deliver 99.9% effectiveness, right? Well, that's what we're delivering. In reality, we need to give 100%, and that's very challenging, especially because compared like with Expedia, I would say that our business is very fragmented. We are delivering like unique shells to each hotel, whereas compared to the OTAs, they have one massive shell, and they need to make sure that shell works, right? Whereas for us is, we have many different domains to work with, and it's something that is not perceived, and is really important for our business.
Another thing that you say is very important, that is connectivity. I still don't understand. We have a few countries in the world that they have like a lot of lobbies, and if you're a technology in foreign country, it's like a nightmare to get inside. But the bad thing is when that happens in a country, the only thing that you do is do not provide like a business model on your country to grow. You attach for 2-3 companies, and that is a big issue. Normally that happens with BMSs. Just one thing I have to say here. Somebody else have to say something? If not, I go with Theodoros.
Just to add a quick data point, I think, Carlos, all your points were spot on, right? Just being mindful that most of your guests are visiting your hotel website from a mobile device, right? Tying in two concepts you spoke about, right? Not only that experience, but also in the analytics. What you'll quickly find, and we've found it with our several thousand hotel clients, is more than 50% of your traffic is coming from a mobile device. Traditionally, we never used to change that experience, right? So concepts like mobile first design, and like you touched on, accelerated mobile pages, progressive web app, right? There are so many different tools that you can be implementing to take full advantage of that, I guess, most of your traffic. So really good point, Carlos.
Greg, still lots of conversion comes from the desktop though. Although the searches come from mobile, desktop is still bringing the conversion to the hotel.
It's a very interesting point, Theodoros. Here in APAC, we are seeing the opposite. So in terms of traffic, so Europe and Americas is 50-50 in terms of traffic. Here we're seeing 60 to 70% is mobile in terms of traffic. And we're seeing mobile slightly higher in terms of transaction for many hotels, especially in the last year, where it all depends on domestic business, right? That's probably given a push, but Asian market is much more mobile driven than maybe Europe and US.
That is one thing that you tell that is really true. For example, and we have the super apps that in Asia. Normally, most everyone use it. However, if we go to Europe, we don't have it. If we go to North America, talking about North America, I'm talking about US and Canada, you have a few that's trying to penetrate, but even today, they didn't have the chance. However, if you come to South America and Central America, you have already 2 of them that is growing. Yes. And the people don't understand that is the future. Why? Because they come from like Rappi is one of them here. And they collect your information and how you buy, what you buy. And normally they start selling food. And right now they're selling package based on where you travel, where you go, where you do, what kind of behavior you have. So it's amazing. Maybe in Europe, they have some kind of retraction on that. And in South America, let's see how, for me, is like a whole that we need to see where it will bring us for Occidental people. I'm talking. Mark, you want to say something? Interrupt you. I just said you open your microphone.
Yeah, no worries. This is 2 years into the Zoom trend, and everybody is always saying, "Oh, sorry, you go ahead." No, you go ahead. You're on mute. So, Carlos, you can hear me, right? That's another question that we always ask. But I think what Theodoros, there was an interesting point on the mobile part, because I think that maybe data will be, let's say, give us insights. But what type of conversion would we have in APAC or in Europe? Would there be a difference between mobile and desktop? Whether you travel international or domestic, in the way a consumer, let's say, would decide, would there be, let's say, if you're a domestic consumer, probably you're going last minute, and it's easy on your mobile, because it's like here in Bangkok we have Food Panda, $50, $100 hotel. Okay, you've done that on your mobile. But to Theodoros' point, if you're in Europe and you need to come to Phuket, and you need to pay those $2,000 or $3,000 for a total package with everything, will you also quickly do that on your mobile? So I think also there, it's good to understand like what are the sentiments of a consumer, and technology can maybe help. But what I sometimes also notice is like, what would I do? Sometimes we have all this talk, and the technology is super important, but taking a step back, and if I put myself in my shoes, and I want to go to Europe, or a friend of mine would need to come back into Thailand, and the amount of paperwork, the amount of things you need to double check, it's about trust. It's not about speed at this moment. It's about, hey, do I have everything out there? I see that also as different sentiments that have happened, and we see that also in our booking data. So yeah, just wanted to add that point to that discussion. It's maybe not only APAC, but it's probably also like the type of travel and the type of traveler that is booking.
I just want to say just the last one. We are seeing a lot of super apps come in. We're talking about distribution, direct, indirect sales. But one thing that most no one is thinking about is destination management systems. Not because Marcelo is here, but it's true. You have a super app, great. You have, I don't know, Kayak, that is a super app, but it's a net search. You have Trivago and so on. And you have your marketing. You have everything to do to have your own booking or direct booking. However, destination, it's something that people is not looking at. It's very important because let's say that San Diego and California create an app and a website where you can book your own hotel. You can book as a B2C. You can book as a B2B, as an operator. Also, you can book a restaurant. Also, you can buy from small, I don't know, they sell shoes, very small. They can be on a destination management system. That is something that's coming, and nobody's seeing that coming. But it will come. I finish. I go directly with the Theodoros question. Theodoros, your question is very simple, but very complicated. So the question is, how is the best way to create direct bookings? How is the strategies that hotels needs to set? Up to you. All yours, my friend.
So, first of all, I would like to mention that we actually are in a new regularity. Okay, so actually we see after COVID, especially here in Europe, and I'm located in Greece, they use the word after COVID. So that COVID has ended. It's still here. This is the point. However, things have not changed a lot, especially in the client journey. So still the client does the same moves in order to decide whether he wants to book a room, a flight, anything that refers to his, let's say, his trip to a destination. So talking about Expedia and booking, of course, those are the first searches when we are talking online. They're searching about the destination. They don't know the name of the hotel. So actually, because of the budget, the big elephants spent are first in the search. So actually, from there begins the point where the client learns about the hotel name. So next, so I keep it simple. Still, the journey is that they click and Google again. They Google the hotel name, and then they come to the website and the booking engine. So the website, in fact, as you already told, I think Carlos and Greg also and Tarun also mentioned that the website is the first, let's say, step for client to come into the booking engine actually and convert directly. So if we are talking that the website is a body, then the booking engine are the feet in order to achieve the direct booking. So maybe also Carlos knows that Roiback and also Bookonlinenow have many features that the hotelier can use. However, if the website cannot support all those features, so to display the features that the booking engine provides, there is you minimize actually the way to convert directly and get direct bookings. So I usually say also that online sales and especially direct sales is like chess. So I like chess because it's strategic. You need to have a structure. You need to know your previous and your next moves. So actually what you need to do also to get direct sales is to experiment all the time. So it's a living thing. You cannot say that you need to use the traditional strategic for sales or marketing or pricing structure. You need to find out new ways and interact with your clients. If you are talking about social media, you need to know also the ages of your clients. So next step is the big data, as we call it. The good thing with COVID is that many companies have made synergies and integrations. So this is actually that helped hoteliers gain more data and understand more about their hotel and, of course, the clients that visit, if we're talking online, the official website and, of course, the booking engine. So as a part of the big data, Bookonlinenow has made many things regarding the reports. Because from the reports, you can understand which countries are following your social media, maybe, or entering your official website. You can understand the ages. You can understand the booking window. You can actually see if they're not looking only about accommodation, about upsell as well. And now the question also to all the panel is price actually the king in the decision of the clients? I think not, in my opinion. Okay, so it's not about discounting all the time. So I see strategies of pricing strategies, especially this period, that everybody makes discounts in order to attract clients. Vinicius said in the beginning something that I agree with. It's actually to provide an experience to the client. So is combining products with the help of the booking engine and, of course, the website, in order to differentiate your hotel from in the market. You need to know what exactly they're searching also in the destination the hotel is located. So do you think, so that's from me, from my side, I think booking engine is not only displaying prices and availability, but it's something more. It's engaging with the client, understanding their needs, creating products that could upsell services of the hotel, and actually achieving also the loyalty Carlos also talked about. So maybe small or mid-sized hotels think actually that loyalty scheme is only for big chains. It's not anymore. It's also for mid-sized, small hotels. Everybody can create right now a loyalty scheme in order to get repeated clients.
I want to say just 2 points, but if somebody wants to speak before myself, go ahead. Just 2 points that I want to add with just Theodoros says. First, if you turn down your price right now, most of the countries still closed. If we look to APAC, we still have Singapore closed. Maybe I can be wrong. I don't know if Thailand is closed. We have several countries. You can correct myself. So you cannot drop down. It's not the time. It's time to make your price go up at the end. And why? If you turn down your price, the first thing, if you are a hotel 4 or 5 stars, and you start selling as a price for 2 stars, what you're going to do is changing your public. If you change your public, and the public that normally goes to your hotel, maybe it's an elitist thing, but it's true. They don't like. First of saying, you're going to change. It's a culture. Second point here, when you talk about direct bookings, for example, and we have Roiback, we have Bookonlinenow, we have Simplotel here. The most important thing in social media, for example, normally everybody do ads and Instagram, or do ads directly on Facebook, or we can even use TikTok right now to do that. I never tried it. I need to try, but I know they're doing it. They send to the website. That is wrong, because if you are setting up, I don't know, let's say cliche, romantic weekend, come and you have a 10% discount buying through Facebook or through Instagram, and then you send them to your website. They will see the package. They will need to search the date and try to find out if you're going to have it. So if you do any kind of publicity or ads, you need to send that person directly for that package and only sell that package. You cannot give them more options. There's a wrong saying that most of the hotel does all over the world. Now go ahead, everybody. Tarun, you want to say something for sure?
Yeah, I think excellent points, Theodoros. I think it all starts with getting to know your customers, and there were some like really obvious things that are in front of a lot of hotels that are sometimes ignored. So we have this hotel in a nice tourist destination, and we were having a conversation with the owner, and we said, do you know why people come to your hotel? And he said, oh, the location is nice, we're close to the beach, this, that, right? And what we did is, we read through their reviews on TripAdvisor, and the first 15 reviews, all talked about the fact that the hotel has free parking in there, and they loved that fact. Now, it's so interesting that all the customers are raving about the fact that the hotel has free parking. They're talking about it on the internet. But when you talk to the management of the hotel, they don't realize that that's one of the key selling points of the hotel, right? I think, Mark, when I was at Expedia, we had a similar experience with one of the Liverpool hotels, right? We ran some A/B tests on content, and we changed some copy there on Expedia at that time and said, this is right across the football stadium, and we saw bookings for that hotel jump, right? So, and the interesting thing is, there's just so much data out there. If hotels took the time to just read the reviews and not just look at it as a reputation one-up game where I'm trying to get a certain score, but also looked at what the customers were saying about them, there's some really, really good insights. And I know the big guys like Expedia and Booking, comb through reviews and will figure that out automatically. That kind of tech is also available where you can, look at these reviews and summarize them, but nothing stops us from reading them and getting to know our customer. That's sort of right in front of our face, and we tend to ignore the data sometimes, I feel.
For sure, one of the things most important is understand who are our client. That is the first thing. If you don't understand that, you're going to lose. Maybe you can hire a marketing company, and normally what they do is, okay, your hotel is based in where? Okay, it's in Thailand. Okay, oh, awesome. So what are we going to do? You're going to set $2,000, and we will spread that ad on Facebook, Instagram, Google for entire Asia. Or I will put that, and they do, most of them, because normally, okay, we have Greg. Greg have a big knowledge of marketing and hotel side, but most of the marketing companies that work with hotels, they have no clue how a hotel works. They have no clue how search and find where are my clients. I coming back again, as I always said for the last 2 years, and the second edition, I always says the same. Go to your PMS. Your PMS will have all the information. However, if your PMS is not integrated with your channel manager, then you're going to have the disease called Afghanistan. It's nothing wrong about Afghanistan. It's all the PMSs start with Afghanistan. So your receptionist, if it's going to do manually, everybody going to say, whoa, I have 200 people for Afghanistan. And then you said, okay, but they're European. What happens here? Why is Afghanistan? And the other thing I need to say here about Expedia, for example, a lot of people, when they hire Expedia, they forget that Expedia have more than 12 or 14, but Mark knows better than myself, distribution and other brands. And normally, sometimes you need to ask, hey, Venere, if last minute at hotels.com, please, I want you to set my hotel in all your distribution system. So, and sometimes you need to know those kind of things, and we are here to let you know about it. Sorry, it's everything I have to say here. If you don't, Mark, you want to say something? If not, we go to the next question, because we have a full questions for a lot of people here that we need to cover. A lot of them, believe me. I go to the next question then. Okay, Let's go to MarkVasse, Director of Market Management Thailand and Vietnam Expedia. Mark, how has the digital transformation helped hoteliers? 1. Question number 2. What opportunities do you see for hoteliers to deliver a great travel experience to guests? I will repeat all the questions. How has the digital transformation helped hoteliers? And what opportunities do you see for hoteliers to deliver a great travel experience to guests? All yours.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think most of all, the digital transformation and how it's helped is like asking is like, hey, what's in it for me, right? If you're in this audience, what is the cloud? I mean, I first heard of the cloud when I bought my first iPhone, and it said, "Do you want to synchronize with the iCloud?" And I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." But actually, only recently, or let's say recently, the last 5 years, you see it's becoming more obvious. And I think how this digital transformation helped is and we know the internet, it displays your hotels to the whole world, where previously that was very difficult. But if you look at the cloud, I think it's best described as what's under the waterline. So look at us at this panel here. We are six companies, different sizes, different sources, and we're all trying to connect the dots in some point of that customer journey. And sometimes we overlap in what we do together, and sometimes there is one part that Expedia wouldn't cover, but Tarun would cover. And I think cloud computing allowed something what we would call unification. You have so many different software tools and systems that are possible, and all the let's say the services and the values that we talk about so far in this call. I can imagine if you're part of the audience, you're like, okay, where do I start? Do I start with a photo? Do I need to start with research and these kind of things? And I think that digital transformation, it's under the waterline what started with. So a lot of separate software systems. Probably a lot of us will still work with Excel files here and there, and it's the process of unification. So what can you do with all this data? So Expedia has arguably one of the richest databases and data points for our travelers, cruises, cars, packages, flights, and hotels. And so we're pretty well positioned to really see like, okay, so who is our customer and what do they book? Do they book like we had earlier discussion? Do they book on mobile? How do they book? How do they make that conversion on desktop? And it can be confusing sometimes. And I think technology can really level the playing field for a hotel. The bigger chains, they have the investments to build their own software, to build their own data analytics, and buy that. But if you're a smaller independent hotel, you're going to talk to Carlos, you're going to talk to Marcelo, Theodoros, and Craig and Tarun. So how do you deal with that? And I think it can. A lot of these technology things can actually level the playing field. It makes, even though it may be complicated at first, actually once you get it and you've mapped out a customer journey, actually it can be very simple, and it can build a more resilient ecosystem in travel. Now, what I mean with that is a lot of smaller hotels, they also when we ask them for feedback in working with Expedia Partner Central as our booking suite, they also share that overall it's complexity. That's the biggest challenge when you want to adopt new technology, because smaller hotels, you don't have that luxury of having a staff of 5 revenue managers and e-commerce managers, because very often you're running the breakfast, you're running, you need to write that note. Remember, still you want to leave on the bed that little note of thank you for your stay, and those genuine experiences. So in adopting new technology, that's a big challenge. So what we've been doing, and we constantly reach out for feedback with our partners as well, is making enhancements to our partner facing platform. So we listen to that feedback, and we try to, where possible, simplify some of these tools and make the data more accessible. So I think a great example that I just love to share here is virtual agent, and a lot of these products were actually born out of that pandemic crisis that we all faced last year in February. And the virtual agent that Expedia developed is a platform that can be used by travelers themselves to change bookings or to make queries around their bookings, so they don't need to reach out to the hotel and say, hey, what is this? Can I cancel? Can I not cancel? Can I change? And if you look in the past 6 months that we've deployed this virtual agent, and we've seen already over a third of traveler requests actually resolved through the virtual agent. And when the data shows that close to 50%, 45% of travelers have actually already engaged with that virtual agent with their booking tool. Now that's a great first step, but when you work when you work in a platform, you deal with consumers, but at the same time, our partners are as important, right? And they need to deal with a lot of these operational requests as well. So what we did as a second step is actually, now we made the virtual agent, we made it also work for partners. So previously, you have to send emails, you have to make calls, it can be quite complicated, or you need to wait for things, whereas actually, your customer checks in tomorrow, so you would like to get some more information. So now with thanks to the cloud development, actually we've been able to extend that virtual agent, make it available on demand 24/7, and partners can ask basic questions, or they can quickly accomplish tasks like reviewing, editing, cancellation policies. They can find their payments, their EVC card payments, or the status of customer vouchers. So it's 24/7 available, and there's no waiting. And that's a great service, and that's a great help what we experience. Another thing in that digital transformation, in that enormous mountain of data that everybody has, what do you do with data? You can have so much data, but you can just be paralyzed and say, like, okay, well, what does this mean, right? So also, let's say, born in this in that particular period is something what it's what we call market insights. So actually, we've made available our customer data for our hotel partners on Expedia. So they will be able to find a tab called Market Insights, and our customer data, who they are, what they're searching for, is actually shared in there. And last thing, also possible, and we've been really enhancing this. My colleague Loic, he will later on also talk about a product that we call Ref Plus, and Ref Plus is also there translating market insights, booking demand insights into better revenue strategies, because it's not always like we said earlier. It's nobody wants to continuously sell your room for the lowest price. The key thing is like, what is the value that you can bring, and Ref Plus is helping you with that.
Thank you so much, Mark. Somebody has any comment that you would like to add?
Yeah, I think one of the points that Mark made totally resonated with me, right? It's about simplification. I think it's, last time I checked, it was 2021, and sometimes technology still looks like it's from 1998, right? I mean, today you look at people being able to book an Uber with ease, right? You don't need any kind of training. And I think it's really heartening to see software and tools get there where I think one of the challenges that a lot of our hotels talk about is attrition, etc. Right? I mean, you're located in these resort locations, retention of staff, churn, etc. And you have this tool that's very complicated, and now somebody new joins, and now you have to train them again. When that person leaves again, you have to train somebody new, right? So I think, Mark, the fact that you guys are investing all this in simplification and bots is very encouraging. I think it adds a lot of value to hotels. Like, these tools need to be like brain dead simple. Like, we keep telling our team, if you have to ship a manual with our software, we've got something wrong. Like, it should just be that intuitive, right? I mean, when nobody told us how to use an Uber app, we just use it, right? Nobody taught us how to use an Amazon or an Expedia, we just get it, right? And the partner facing or the hotel facing tech also needs to be such brain dead simple, and it's possible today, right? I mean, the tools are all out there. It's just good to see us all focus on that.
Carlos, you want to say something?
Yeah, there's an interesting point, and Mark went into the digital transformation and how that is impacting, and also mentioned about the big chains developing technology in-house. And I think one of the parts of the digital transformation is precisely what we're talking about now. Cloud computing is changing things, right? And even the big brands may be struggling because they have very heavy hardware systems to maintain. And the cloud computing is kind of changing everything, and they're struggling to keep up to date. My question to Mark, and maybe technical and maybe not be hard for him to answer, but if we look at big chains, I'm going to mention about Marriott, right? Marriott moved into a decision of giving exclusivity of distribution to Expedia, I think, just before COVID, maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And the way I read it, and I may be incorrect, is that, precisely because of that, because Marriott's technology, their Marshall system, had become a bit obsolete, and they needed, top-end technology to be able to keep up to date. And that's why they partnered up with Expedia. But I might be wrong. Is that your feeling, Mark, or would you disagree?
Tricky question.
Yeah.
No, it's less tricky than you may think. To be honest, I was not part of that deal or the reasons why. But I think one of the key things that plays a role is simplification. That's exactly what we just talked about, right? Whether you're a small hotel or a larger chain, we've got so many separate boxes of and elements in the customer journey, in our distribution of rooms and rates, that you want to make sure that, okay, so where is the point of what is adding value of having a control of yourself in each and every block. So even though I can't comment or give an insight on let's say the specific reasons of why they chose, but the simplification and the value that it obviously brought, I think that can be part of the decision for any hotel deciding to use also any of your softwares, right? Is there simplification, but also value? Why, if you don't see the value of something, why do it, right? And I think that's also the key discussion for here and for the audience when they're listening. So many ways to distribute. You need to be on Facebook. You need to be, even this conference is on LinkedIn, and well, apparently we're not on TikTok, I believe, but
no, TikTok, no, TikTok, no, it's not our plan yet.
No, but maybe you missed an opportunity out there. We don't know, and it's every business is facing that decision of, once they have identified what is their need, you need to identify what is the biggest value for this particular part of my business, and you decide what to do with that.
Thank you, Mark. I'm gonna rush a little bit right now because we have 23 minutes more. We have 2 persons more for the questions, and we have a lot of questions for the public, but still take your time to answer the next questions, please. So let's go to the next one. Will be Marcelo, founder and CEO of Personalized Travel. Marcelo, what's the behavior of the new traveler profile, and how technologies like cloud, hyper-personalization, and omni-channel experience can help the travel industry to create wow experience. I love the wow experience. All yours.
Everybody wants the wow experience. Okay, in this subject, I would like to like do few steps back and start to talk about one of the big changes of the travel industry in some markets like Europe in the last decades, in other markets like Latin America in the last years. I don't know what about Asia, but it's the change in the behavior and the profile of the person, of the travelers, of the person who travel from the traditional travelers, from the traditional tourists to the travelers. And it's a huge change. Why? Because tourists normally, when they think about travel, they think about their trips. They would like to be like extension of their house, of their home. They look for safety. They look for, but in the other way, we travelers, we are driving by four different things. The first one, we want to go as deep as possible inside the destinations and the culture we are going to. We want to be connected with our patients. Like, I love food, I love history. I can imagine myself traveling without experience the history and the food of the place that I'm going to. Another thing, for us travelers, we love technology, but we need the human touch. Nowadays, not that much because of the bad times that we are now, but when these bad times goes away, we will be like crazy for this touch experience, for these touch points. And we want both at the same time. We want technology and we want the human touch. And another point, for us travelers, we want that the entire trip building process be as special as it is in our mind. So, and when you stop and start to see how the travel industry and destinations try to interact and sell for this public, for the travelers, it's in the complete opposite way. They still trying to interact and sell for travelers in the same way they do for the tourists. But our mindset are completely the opposite of the tourists. So it causes a dissonance between the traveler's mindset and what the travel industry offer, and especially how they offer. So how to try to fix that? There is a concept that we call humanization. That is the effort to try to make the travel industry get closer to the traveler's mindset. And there is a lot of nice technology that can help the organizations to do this process. One of them is the humanization. There is a lot of concepts inside of the humanizations, but trying to be very brief. It's like, how can you, because normally when you think about business, we are, it was taught for us that business shouldn't be emotional, business shouldn't be personal. But nowadays, business must be emotional and must be personal. So humanize, try to put your human side in the top of your strategy. Try to be more human and try to interact with your customers in the most humanized way. The second thing is try to give to your customers and omni-channel experience. There is nothing worse than this kind of waste of time feeling. And when a customer goes to a website and have to starting doing everything from the beginning as it has never been there before, it is so boring. It is waste of time. Another point, the personalization or the hyper personalization. Everybody wants to feel special, wants to feel unique, and now the technology make it possible in an easy and fast way. So why not to do this? If you can do that, if you can treat everyone in a unique way, why not to do that? Another point, it's the cloud and the API integration technologies. It's what link the other technologies, and it is what makes possible for all the companies or all the destinations provide a really one experience, a really unique experience where you can merge together all kinds of travel informations, travel products, and really give to the travelers and really great travel journey experience.
Thank you so much, Marcelo. I love what you just said. You're so passionate, but normally people say to me, you are a businessman from the 80s. And when I listen for that, it's like, what is be a businessman from the 80s? Okay, it's better not explain this now. But yes, but the passionate, it's very complicated sometimes. But yeah, you have all the reason that right now is what we need to do. I go with Greg because we're going to pass maybe 10, 15 minutes for the time that we have. If somebody have a meeting, please tell them to wait 10 minutes because the most important persons after this great team we have here is the attendees that they have a lot of questions. And some of them is very tricky. And it's going to be awesome. So let's go with Greg, if you let me. I'm so sorry. I don't want to rush, but we need to move forward. Thank you so much, Marcelo. Let's go with Carbonniere, Senior Director of Sales Digital Marketing, Milestone, Top 25 Marketing on the World. So welcome again, Greg. Your question. This question is awesome. Google's experience update began to roll out in June 2021. How does this update measure the online guest experience? And what should hoteliers know about the impact? I'm going to repeat the question. Google Experience update began to roll out in June 2021. How does this update measure the online guest experience? And what should hoteliers know about the impact?
Great question. Thanks, Vinicius. So, obviously hotels in most cases are trying to follow the trends. So Google's Experience Update is their latest algorithm update. It just landed last month, although they've been preparing us for this for quite some time. So what Google's now measuring is the experience in which a guest has once they visit your website. And it's been talked about already today, so I won't elaborate, but the core, no pun intended, is based on the speed in which the website loads. That's, by the way, it's always been a ranking factor, meaning that how Google lists websites on the search engine results page. Speed's always been a core element of that ranking factor. The follow-up now to that is what experience are guests having while they visit your website. So they're looking at speed, largest contentful paint, LCP. They're looking at how quickly the website is accessible. They're also looking at, as you visit the website, are things moving on the page potentially causing a bad user experience. So those are three new criteria Google's now measuring, which does impact how your hotel is discovered, right? It's something we haven't really spent much time today on. We've talked about customer journey, but the very first part of it is how hotels are discovered. So the whole idea of, competing against larger players. In some cases, hotels, maybe a goal of theirs is to compete with some large brands in their market. Oftentimes, these algorithm updates level the playing field, at least for a short period of time. So Core Web Vitals is a great way for you to capitalize off of that. Really some quick, very tactical strategies that you can do to address those three areas. If you're not sure what those three areas are, Google offers a free tool that you can use. It's developers.google/speed. On the top left-hand side, you'll see the page speed insights test. It's free to use. You can see where your hotel website meets up against those criteria. The other resource that I'm going to mention, and Vinicius, please don't hate me for doing this, but
Greg,
another
time, man. Go ahead.
a free resource that I'll mention
Please,
here. So I just changed my name right now. We're happy to do that lifting for you. It's a free assessment, bit.ly/milestone audit. We'll look at those criteria for you and provide you with recommendations on how to benefit from this algorithm update. So hopefully that answered the question, Vinicius. Thank you.
I will profit a little bit more.
Sure.
As a specialist in marketing,
sure.
How is the impact of our Google Hotel Ads as free? That is a good question.
Good question.
That's a very free question. So,
sure.
Because we have Roiback, we have Simplotel, we have Bookonlinenow. All of them are Google partners. Expedia is a Google partner. All of them can share their prices there, but for free. How that impact the market? You don't expect that question.
Sure. Yeah. No, and that's fine. I love it. One of my favorite things to do is freestyle when I'm advising for hotel clients. So one of the other updates Google had made during the pandemic was to offer basically complimentary organic placement in Google Hotel Ads, meaning that historically those were meta search, a pay-per-click type of engagement. They now embedded complimentary or organic listings within that feature. So there are some caveats, right? You obviously need to have that feed, which I'm sure there's plenty of partners here providing those resources. So that's the first step. The second step is then, as we've all talked about, let's measure the impact, right? Are we seeing an uplift from that placement? And is it a worthwhile element of our strategy? I think eventually, right, that is, we don't know how long that's going to be in place. But for our clients, it's proven to be pretty impactful, given that it's a free placement. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. And I have another one.
Sure.
Don't stop now.
Please.
Google, but I want the opinion from everybody, and then we go with the questions from all the public. If we remember 2 years ago, 2 years and a half, Google launched Google Hotel, for example. There was like a met search. Then they remove it. Then the only one that we have right now is the Google Flight, but it's still a lot of people don't know about it. Sure. You don't see that kind of strategy from Google to provide for free. Don't will impact also in some point to eat the OTAs, for example. Mark, what do you think? Because it's very dangerous what they're doing. If we check that 75% of the world use Google for something, and right now we always, if you said, I don't know, Athens, Greece, I want to go there. Hotel, the first thing that you have is Google Hotel Ads. Then we start seeing the Google Ads, and after that we see the SEO, the organic position. So what just is it a speculation here? But what do you think about that? Is it a risk or is not? Because everybody can say, okay, we don't work with Google anymore. But if we do that, it can block everybody. So what do you think? It's very dangerous at the end.
I guess that's a question to me, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think it's dangerous. I think competition is good. Competition keeps every business sharp. Competition forces you to always think about the value that you can bring. And if that means that somebody is fastly growing, obviously there's value in what they're doing. So I think in that sense, it is good. Expedia, we believe in our own strategy and our own strength of what we believe is helpful for customers, and at the same time we're trying to translate that in value for our partners. And Carlos asked me just now also about the Marriott deal and the reasons. And that is about simplification. That is about value. One of the things that I believe it was in 2019 that this started with Expedia, that Marriott and Expedia worked on this. It's what we call optimized distribution. And part of the value that Expedia also saw was on the let's say the unrelented distribution of their rates. It was very difficult for them to have a control or to have an insight on that. And optimized distribution gives exactly that to this particular chain. And first results very good. They've got an 80% reduction in the rates that go all over the place on Meta engine. So it's for us, it's something that gives value, and I'm sure there are other companies out there that are saying, hey, that's directly competing with what I want. And I think that competition is good because it keeps you sharp, and in the end it's about the value that you can bring with your product. And if there's no value in it, in a way, you gotta change, because the results, if you bring no value, the results will be eventually there, and will be like the oxygen that Carlos was talking about. Yeah, you need oxygen, and that's for all of us. Each product needs to mean something to your group of clients, right? And so it's not only the large change with optimized distribution. Smaller and mid-sized chains can also do that, and they can tap and connect with their API into Expedia's optimized distribution.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark. Let's go for the question for the public. Let's go with the first question that we have. 1 hour ago for Terence Rossen. I'm gonna set on the screen like this. Everybody can double check. Many of you handle the guest journey and personalization. How are you handling COVID passports? Is this a requirement to make a booking in a hotel, and how it is validated? Who starts? And let's go right to the point, because we have several questions, and feel free. I don't will answer this.
Well, yeah, maybe I'm dealing with this right now. The Phuket sandbox has opened, for example, in APAC, and we know that APAC borders are closed. So it's very difficult. Regulations are changing, and they continue to change, and that's blanket all over the world. And I think one of the key challenges for all of us will also be, how do you build that personalization into your platform? Because as rules keep changing by governments, you can't keep changing. You can just imagine your coding, the impact on your customer journey. That's if that changes week over week, that's a big challenge. So I do see that there is an opportunity. It's on top of mind for us here at Expedia on how we deal with that, and how you can, let's say, make it scalable, make it personalized in the sense of, I think informing customers is the most important thing. I think especially in this COVID period, and like Theo was saying, there's no after COVID, because things are still continuing. Customers want information. So if you're as a hotel, hotels that communicate clearly, that communicate early with their guests, it gives trust in this particular period. And believe me, I've done quarantine when I came to Thailand myself last year. I traveled from Vietnam to Thailand. The amount of uncertainty, the amount of paperwork, the amount of double checks that you need to do as a customer yourself, as a traveler, is enormous. And the best thing that hotels and
Hotels need to provide a clear information also on their website. That's the most important thing, because if we take up for the government, all the developers are here, all the companies, we're going to be crazy at the end. That is the real truth.
Yeah. Look, yes. Sorry, because I think it's an important point. It's also up-to-date information, right? So if everybody starts to, what if a hotel puts up the information and tries to help a customer, but next month, will they still have checked whether that information is valid, right? So for a customer journey, it's super important to have one source of truth, right? And I think hotels, so Expedia has, for example, next to real-time feedback, we have guest messaging system. And after a booking, the hotel can directly communicate with the guest that made a booking, and there's a template in there, and you can ask the guest information, the flight information. You can make the traveler more secure and more trusted of what they can expect, and you can actually help them on their journey.
Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question from Dipti Gupta. What steps will take for those customers who booked her tickets from the third-party portals in a particular class? And second message, after an hour suddenly receive a message from the website that your booking has been canceled due to difference of fare. Whose fault is this? Customer, portal, and airlines. Right now, I'm so sorry, nobody is guilty at the moment, because right now we have England, for example, it was open, and then right now they close again, they coming back. Europe is not all the countries taking, for example, UK flight. So I just answered, but if somebody wants to say something else, but it's very difficult to somebody. If not, I go to the next one.
So, I mean, I think, it is, we discussed this earlier in the panel, right? I mean, there is integration type challenges that happen sometimes, and maybe the fare was not updated. Each of the systems rely on massive amounts of shopping data. There's a lot of, and one of the reasons why we believe that Google is offering the free meta is because it wants the data, right, of the hotel pricing, because the participation, at least initially in Google Hotel Ads, was, at least in our customer base, about 20% or so, and they wanted to see that number grow. So I believe that, there are obviously sometimes things don't go as well. I think the key in such a situation is for the suppliers jointly to take ownership of the customer experience and do the best thing for the customer. It can't be a one size fit all. And I think investment needs to go into integration and ensuring that you minimize the possibility of these things that happen, because they do create a really bad customer experience.
Thank you so much, Tarun. Another one from LinkedIn. I think mobile is temporary. No, sorry, I don't know the experts here. They can say.
I respectfully disagree. Although I think, Vinicius, you brought up a good point, right? Region by region, market by market, it may have grown greater than others. But the fact that prior to the pandemic, it was already growing. During the pandemic, you can factor in, right, the digital transformation, how more users were on mobile. I think the question, though, that we've all posed is, how are you focused on the conversion on mobile? So things like speed, things like personalization, user experience, core vitals, right? All of those factor into the conversion. I think that's an area that in order to benefit from these additional users, we should prioritize.
So
I've seen bookings coming from smart TVs. You never know what happens in the future, so you don't know.
I've got a voice search device on my desk, and there are bookings we've seen coming from voice search. It's an interesting point.
So I do agree with what they're saying, right? I mean, whoever the writer is, see, I think temporary defines a period of time, right? And if you take a long enough period of time, then like 10 years ago, nobody would have thought of mobile. And, we would have, if somebody told us desktops were temporary, we would have a similar reaction, right? So the rate at which tech is evolving is phenomenal, right? I mean, I think all of the online stuff that we are seeing is merely 2 decades old. I mean, most of our companies were formed less than 2 decades. Today, a lot of online bookings, are huge, but this is the phenomenon of this generation, right? So I think temporary is sort of, in my opinion, right, the period of time. I mean, if you're looking at a 5, 6, 7 year horizon, God knows how things will change and what new things will come in, right? So yeah, but if you're looking at temporary as 1 month, I don't think mobile is going away in a month, right? Just my opinion.
And not only that, we don't know even what's going to happen in 1 year or two. Maybe, I don't know, we're going to have a chip or something, and we're going to say goodbye by thinking, because already, Greg just said, for example, if you speak, you have your phone on mute or there, you speak something, after that you have an ad, So it's very complicated. Sometimes I said, I love Argentinian football. Or the other day I said, okay, Argentina will play. I took my phone, I go to Facebook to just watch my family, and then, hey, you have this T-shirt of Argentina, buy. I said, but I didn't search it. So the word is changing. And we have the last question. Was for myself, but I don't answer. I will let Marcelo and all of you. Vinicius, what will be the difference between DMS and, let's say, distribution channel like DOTW, where tour operator or third parties can book destinations for guests with hotels, activities, and convenience? First of all, DMS will provide a B2C and a B2B. Any DMS that provides only a B2C experience, it's wrong, because when you go for a destination, you want to sell the whole destination, not only the hotel for the B2C. You're thinking to roll the travel agency for a less amount of percentage and commission for those hotels they will pay, or even restaurants will be there, not only hotels. So you can also have the packages, and you can buy it directly, and the travel agent maybe is going to be like a change. Normally, travel agents right now use Go Global, use hotel beds, and so many other distribution systems that we have all over the world. And then they got 6 to 8%. With DMS, they can get 13, 14%, and be very less amount of money for a hotel. But Marcelo, it's yours.
I'm muted. Okay. I think that the biggest or the main point here is waste of time. Nowadays, nobody wants waste time, and this trend that we are seeing nowadays to put everything together is an initiative to make the trip building process more efficient. And if you can, it's like nowadays, what a traveler must do. He must go to a website or a company to find information about the destination they want to go, and then they go to another website to buy their flight ticket to the destination. Then they go to the other website where they can find the accommodation, and then they go to another, or sometimes a lot of other websites to find the experience they will have inside of this destination. It makes no sense. It's a lot of waste of time. So these trends to try to put everything together is just a way to try to make the process more efficient and more fun for the travelers. So I think it's a no way back trend. I think it's and especially nowadays with the cloud, with the APIs technologies, and hyper personalization, as I just said, it's getting easier for the companies to put everything together and try to provide for the travelers a really wow experience.
People here want to kill you right now, all of them, just to let you know. All of them, all the companies here want to kill you. But one thing that for a DMS is very important, for example, you can have your own technology, but a DMS is very important to connect the hotel directly with their booking engine and the distribution systems. Because if we don't do that, normally hotels don't want to use or have another channel, and convince hoteliers on this side is very difficult at the end. But if somebody wants to sell the last thing, go ahead. You can kill Marcelo. Go ahead. I support you. It's just a joke for everybody. So we're finishing right now. In 1 hour, we're gonna start the first pitch session today. Today we will have. Just give me 1 second. I have too many lists here. We're gonna have Review Pro in 1 hour. Virtual Console, Personal to Travel, EV Human, HubOS, Belvita Partners, HiJFE, Il Planet, and Mabrien Technology pitching in 1 hour, 13 hours from Hong Kong. We'll start. So right now we're finishing, and we're gonna give a few seconds to everybody to say goodbye. So Carlos Pereira, please, it's your turn.
Well, thank you, Vinny. Thank you and the whole Travel Tech team. I think it's been a very good session, and thank you for bringing all my peer colleagues here, interesting points of view of how the business is moving, especially after COVID. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Carlos. MarkVasse, Expedia Group.
So I would just like to say, don't let the cloud interfere with finding out who your customer is. That remains the most important thing. And what value do you want to give to your customer? And second thing, tune in tomorrow for my colleague Loic, July 7 at 2:40 Hong Kong time, and he will explain to you what Ref Plus can mean for you in the hotel, and what kind of consumer and revenue insights you can actually get. So 2:40 tomorrow. See you there.
Thank you so much, Mark. Tarun, CEO and founder of Simplotel. You are on mute, my friend.
Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much, Vinicius, for having us here. Carlos, Marcelo, Craig, Mark, Theodoros. I think I learned a lot from each one of you. Appreciate you guys taking time to come here.
Thank you so much, Tarun. Theodoros Katsimpras, COO at Bookonlinenow.
Thank you very much, Vinicius, all of you. It's the very first time I enjoyed waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and having, let's say, a meeting. So I enjoyed it very much. I really enjoyed it.
Don't lie.
No, I really enjoyed it. In the beginning, I didn't. But really, through the whole session, I really enjoyed it. So thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you so much, Theodoros. Greg Carbonniere. Italiano,
Italiano, yeah. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm going to go to sleep now. It's 9 o'clock our time. So a pleasure. It was an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg. Marcelo, Personal to Travel.
Thank you all, the peers, you, Vinicius, for the opportunity. And I would like to invite everyone that wants to know how the hyper-personalization can help your company or your destinations to be ready for the Tourism 4.0 age. I will be doing my pitch in 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, maybe.
I don't know, Marcelo. It's too much. It's too much information for myself. I have a team for that. Don't ask me your time. We have an agenda in TravelTech.space for everybody that's listening to us. Also, if you want to have a one-to-one meeting with Roiback, with Simplotel, with Bookonlinenow, or Personal to Travel, you just need to access TravelTech.space. You go to the virtual stand. You go there. You can book your own one-to-one meeting, and also you have the 3D fair. Also, you can access, and you'll see all the stands for everybody that's joining us here. Go ahead, Marcelo. Sorry.
No, Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. See everybody in 1 hour. Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you.